It's insane almost to me to say out of my mouth that somebody's better at something to do with basketball than Michael Jordan, but I'm going to go with Vince Carter. Right here.
Michael Jordan, Vince Carter. You see how he looks like Superman flying sideways through the air. It's spectacular.
That is unbelievable. This building just exploded.
Well, he's not the slugging sensation from the city of Philadelphia. They call it the fighting city, but it's also a basketball city. Alvin Williams, who joins us from just outside of Philly near Villanova, his alma mater. Let's face it, Michael Jordan is on the mind of basketball fans always, Alvin, but with this Last Dance documentary being unveiled, there's a lot of talk about that 97-98 season. That's the year you broke into the NBA. So I know you saw him later as a Washington Wizard, but we want to know what it was like seeing Michael Jordan at the peak of his powers in the 97-98 season.
Oh my gosh, man. Like I can't even explain it. You know, it's something where when I got an opportunity to play against him and my rookie year, and I just remember the shoot-arounds, but I remember the Bulls coming in while we were still in our shoot-around, and Michael Jordan had a trench coat on. He had like a trench coat, long coat with his uniform under that. It was kind of like, and honestly, it was like Superman. Yeah. I'm not sure if he had the hat on or anything, but he had the trench coat and just, you know, his practice gear to get ready for shoot around. But then I remember I was like, wow, that's Michael Jordan over there. And you see Scottie Pippen and all that, but Michael Jordan was the guy you focused on. I remember leaving the arena and it was thousands of people out there, thousands. And I'm like, for a second I got confused, like, hold on, is it an early game or what was going on? Why are so many people out here? But that's the track. It was like the Beatles.
As cool as you try to keep it, that's Michael Jordan over there, right? Even though you're in the NBA yourself. So then a few years later, you're joined on the Raptors by another North Carolina alum, and the comparisons were quite immediate. And what are your some of your great impressions of the early days of Vince Carter in Toronto?
Oh man, it was just having a connection. Vince was somebody that we just attracted each other. So Vince and I used to go to the mall after the practice, after stuff. And I'm not sure if Vince remembers, but we went to the mall one time and we went to go buy, I'm not sure what video game, PlayStation. I don't know if it's Atari. It wasn't Atari, but
don't age
Nintendo.
Yourself.
Yeah, Atari 26. But no, I think it may have been PlayStation. And Vince's card, his credit card, he had to get authorization to use his credit card. So I think the games at that time was like $200. So I was like, you know, man, I'll get the game for you and whatever. But I remember me and Vince Carter going to the whatever at the Eaton Center, and no one knew anything. And then you fast forward a couple months later.
Going upstairs. That's by air. Canada cover. What a spectacular play of the franchise.
And we couldn't go anywhere together. It was unbelievable. I remember being in Minnesota. I remember being in certain places where he could not walk around at all. And I have so many stories from going to clubs and, you know, him being there and lines of people trying to get autographs while we're in the club. And that's where the security and all that stuff started coming into play for superstars. But, you know, those type of stories, man, I'll never forget because I was so close to Vince at that time.
Yeah, and he never liked the comparison. He said I was more of a Dr. J fan. So we begin this segment with Rocky Balboa. We finish with Dr. J and Alvin Williams in between. It's all about Philly today. Good to see you, man.
Michael to the hoop. What a roll! Woo!
Here's Alvin Williams and Michael Grange as we discuss two of the great dunkers of all time. Vince Carter was never at ease with the comparisons to Michael Jordan, didn't want to be compared to him, and that's fair. Nobody could be compared to Michael Jordan through the course of his career and his winning. But when it comes to dunking, maybe there is a fair comparison. We're going to look at three from each of them, and these two gentlemen are going to break down who did it better.
Here he goes. Oh, spectacular. The reverse cradle by Michael Jordan. That's a beauty. That's a 10 to me.
All right, Vince Carter with his first on the final round. Wait, timeout. Can I take a timeout? Can we take a timeout?
Michael Jordan set a bar, and there were a lot of years between that and Vince where guys could take it to another level. But given an even playing field, which one was better?
For me, I go with Vince Carter. If we're talking about dunking, I go with Vince. It's insane almost to me to say out of my mouth that somebody's better at something to do with basketball than Michael Jordan, but I'm going to go with Vince Carter.
Alvin.
Grange hit it right on the head. But Vince at that time, I think with the hype, because of what he did in the games and just what he did with that dunk was just unbelievable.
He also said about that day that he had a bunch planned, and he walked into the building, knew the moment was bigger than what he had planned, and he came up with those essentially on the spot. Let's look at the second from two of the great dunkers of all time.
But he went straight to the basket just like he was floating on air. Look at the hang time. Look at the flying motion.
And here is Vince Carter with his first stop. Let's go home. Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen.
Alvin, start with you this time. Michael or Vince on that second dunk?
Vince. I mean, Vince's dunk. When he does that, he still cradles the ball one hand, but he does a 360 behind it. So it's just more added to it. So I'm going to go with Vince.
Michael.
Yeah, I would agree. I would go with Vince too. The one thing I'll point out about Michael's dunk and I love this about Michael's dunks, is you see what he gets going with his legs. Like, he always seems to have that body. Once he gets in the air, he kind of cocks his whole body and explodes, and his legs come back, and it's just like an extra little flavor to what he does. And Jordan, but those two, I'll go with Vince, just because basically Vince is doing two incredible dunks at once, right? He's doing a windmill and a 360. Either one of those would be showstoppers at one point, and he put them together.
Mission control ready for launch. And a 50 for Michael Jordan.
That's tough to beat. Keep in mind, Vince Carter also has a few stitches in that left hand. He incurred an injury dealing with weights in the weight room.
Oh, it's over! It's over, ladies and gentlemen! Vince Carter with a spectacular show.
Well, if Jordan's not going to win this round, it's trouble. But you're talking about Vince Carter, what he did. Michael Grange, he flew for a long while on that one from the free throw line. And the electricity in Chicago Stadium, unbelievable.
Well, the thing about that dunk, too, is it had so many echoes of significance. And it goes back to Julius Erving at the ABA dunk contest, taking off from the free throw line. I would take that one over Vince's dunk. It just had a little more meaning for it. But if I'm going to be super picky, I think he could have taken off behind the line and still got the dunk. But if you look closely, he got his foot over. But, I can't dunk, but I am a perfectionist. So I deduct a point for that.
That was something where the only person I saw do that dunk that Grange is talking about from the foul line was Dr. J, right? And when Jordan did that, no one could ever fathom someone jumping from the foul line. Now, Vince, on the other hand, we saw the between the legs. We've seen that from Kobe, my main man, rest in peace, and J.R. Ryder and stuff like that. But we didn't see it with the participation of a Tracy McGrady or the help. But I will go with you, Grange, as well. I will go with Michael Jordan's dunk because we saw that dunk before from Dr. J, but we didn't see it with the flair.
MJ deserves to get at least one.
One. He got to get a one.
Poor MJ.
Sorry, Vince, but he got to get one.
He'll take the charity. Doesn't usually require it. Two monumental dunk contests that came a little over a decade apart and changed the course of the NBA, both in their own right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brad.
Yo, we're here live in Chicago, home of the Chicago Bulls, home of the building Michael Jeffrey Jordan built.
Man, shout out to MJ. This game wouldn't be the same without him. Yo, too excited about this Last Dance, Doc. Me and my brother was always in the backyard hooping, trying to act like we was part of that team.
So my MJ story, the first time I met him, I'm 18 years old, I'm working out for the draft. I hear he's gonna come to my workout. My biggest thing is like, all right, just don't pass out when MJ walks into the gym.
I can always tell, you know, my peers, my future kids, that I was able to meet Michael Jordan in his prime and see the Chicago Bulls play. And it was truly an honor and something I'll never forget.
Growing up, I was the biggest Michael Jordan fan. Born in 95, but I watched all the tapes, Come Fly With Me, To The Max, Michael Jordan playgrounds.
Watching him play on TV and seeing how great he was, how dominant he was, really inspired me.
You know, Michael Jordan means so much to myself and to just the game of basketball.
Big shout out to the Bulls back in the 90s. What time is it? Game time!
As Basketball Central rolls on, we have developed a new segment that we will go through weekly with different people playing the roles in swishes and bricks. And we begin with Danielle Michaud and Eric Smith. Danielle.
Thank you, Brad. First and foremost, E, nice to see your face. Glad you're healthy. All is good on your end, I take it?
Everything's great. Great to see you as well, Danielle.
Perfect. Okay, so this one, pretty obvious. Swishes and bricks. There have not been actual basketball games for you to watch, Eve, but plenty of basketball content, and some certainly better than others. The one that I think I probably could guess your answer to is this first one. Is it a swish or brick, The Last Dance, which of course is chronicling the Bulls dynasty and Michael Jordan and all that other goodness that's been released? What do you think?
I don't want to hear from anybody that says that this is a brick at this point. I mean, anybody that thinks it's a brick, they can just, you know, shut the TV off, go somewhere else. I don't want to speak to them in my lifetime. It is an absolute swish. It's been, you know, a 5-star golden review, whatever you want to call it. It's been incredible to watch the footage. And on top of all that, now we come to find out, the story comes out that MJ is going to donate all of the money that he would have earned from this $3-4 million to charity. That alone makes it a swish, let alone the actual footage we're seeing.
Couldn't agree more. And little swishes for me about it, that's nothing but net. The fact that it's actually a staggered release, I like that because it's giving us something to look forward to, right? We're not getting it all at once in that binge style that all my other television consuming has been.
You know, I think we all would have, though, probably agreed to sit down for 10 hours on the first night and stay up till, you know, 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning, whatever it took to watch it. But I agree with you. It gives us something to anticipate over the course of the week.
All right. Draymond Green was recently chatting on Uninterrupted and said that he felt that Kevin Durant was the elephant in the room, of course, with his contract situation. And he was comparing it to the Michael Jordan Last Dance, that last go at it with that dynasty. E, is it a swish or a brick for you that Draymond Green is being so vocal about this situation in public?
This is a brick for me because as much as we may love it in broadcasting, in the media, and getting those juicy quotes and whatnot, if you try and look at it from the perspective of, you know, if it were you and I and our team, our Sportsnet team, I don't want somebody bad-mouthing me in public. You keep that stuff in-house. You deal with it man-to-man, face-to-face. Now, that said, maybe he has said this to Kevin Durant to his face, but why you're airing that dirty laundry or airing those comments publicly like that, you can still get your point across, I think, Danielle, and being critical of a guy or being honest without completely tossing him under the bus and kind of grabbing the headlines that way. So to me, this is a brick.
I couldn't agree with you more. I was actually surprised at how candid he was, but I feel like at the same time, all we want is to hear that candidness, right, from these guys. So for good or for bad, at least Draymond was explaining how he felt at the time, but putting it out there like this on blast does feel like a bit of a brick. Someone who's doing social media, though, in an incredible way is none other than Serge Ibaka, Mafuzi chef at Class. He's out there every day. He's doing this talent show. Would you say it's a swish or a brick, Serge, social media king?
No, it's got to be a swish. I'm surprised neither one of us put the scarf on for the segment or something because you know he's been incredible to this point. You know, to me, what he did even just in quarantine by kind of opening his door, figuratively speaking, to the public to show the at-home workouts and the setup that he had in his condo. But now with this talent show, and I'll tell you, he's a savage as a judge as well. I mean, he does not mince words, and he goes right at people. And I watched the one day he had DeRozan on, where DeMar was far more politically correct and trying to not just crush people's dreams, whereas Serge is like, I'm going to have to let you go. It's a pass. It's a no for me. It's a pass. We're gonna move on. I love it, and I think the fact that he's just trying to find these creative ways. And on top of all that, I go back to the charity angle. Now you've got guys like DeRozan and other players, other businesses jumping in, trying to throw more money into the mix for charity. I think it's an absolute swift what Serge is doing.
Couldn't agree more. And Serge is just a hilarious character, right? Like at this time, I feel like we're all just looking to connect in some way. And it's nice that Serge is being so open and giving us this glimpse into his day-to-day, whether it's posting his workouts or what he's eating. And then now this talent show, which has been highly entertaining. But yeah, total savage, just cutting people left, right, and center who are very talented, I would like to add. One more for you, E. Swish or brick the tunnel walk challenge, which I can admit I myself took part in after much social peer pressure online. It was a good way to spend some time, but do you think it's a swish or
well,
brick?
I'm gonna look like a complete blank right here, a complete jerk if I say that it's a brick when you've done it. And I saw the picture. I was gonna shout you out.
It's a bricky.
I'm gonna say it's a swish because I think listen, we're all trying to get through this right now. We're all trying to have some fun. We're all trying to pass the time. I think it's good. So I'm gonna say it's a swish. In fact, I'll even shout out our colleague and your old co-host on Sportsnet, Brendan Dunlop. He challenged me either last night or 2 nights ago, and I actually forgot about it until you brought it up right now. So now I'm going to have to answer the challenge, given that BD sent one to me, that you've done it. I think it's a swish. I love seeing it. And I guess you got to pick the right background now and the right outfit, I suppose, because, I'm not going to throw on a suit in the middle of quarantining, but I got to come up with something good. So I give it a swish, and I love what you did.
Awesome. Okay, well, now you got your workout for you. We'll wait for that tunnel walk challenge. I would say the only brick would be given by my husband, who unfortunately had to play the paparazzi and take the photograph. Less than interested in the whole thing, but the tunnel walk challenge swish, obviously, from this end, because my shoes are finally getting some play. They've been sitting in their boxes hibernating throughout coronavirus and staying home, so they're happy to kind of come back out into the world.
Well, and your husband finally gets to do something other than just nap on the couch, because every picture you seem to take on social media, I see him sleeping on the couch while you're watching TVs or movies or something. So, at least you put him to work, right?
That's it. He's getting a job out of it. I think it's a great idea. Thanks a lot, E. This is good.
Thanks, Danielle.
He went airborne, defied gravity.
The Rain Man brings down a little thunder.
Oh, my goodness. He almost ripped the glass apart on that one.
Dominique Wilkins, the human highlight film.
Vincent Lamar Carter, Air Canada.
Vince Salmon, half man, half amazing.
Oh, what a move by Jordan.
From the left. That's a dunk like I've never seen in this game. Air Jordan.
Never a bad thing to rack it back, and there is a distinction between being the best dunker of all time in dunk contests or the best in-game dunker. Certainly Vince Carter and Michael Jordan qualify on both fronts, and those two front and center. One, because Vince Carter would have recently just played his final NBA game, all things considered, and Michael Jordan in the news and on the front of everyone's mind with this Last Dance documentary. Brings us to the inbox. We want your input. So those four are from a past era. If you've got somebody more recent that you'd like to nominate as the best in-game dunker, let us know and we'll discuss it on Basketball Central. We appreciate everybody joining us for a very unique edition of Basketball Central. We're hoping to keep bringing this to you, talking about the past, the present, and hopefully the future of the NBA very shortly. Everybody stay safe at home, and our appreciation, all of us, is sent out to those on the front line doing the job that's keeping us all safe. Be well.
Hey y'all, Tristan Thompson here checking in.
Hey guys, this is Kuzma Shift from the Toronto Raptors.
Hey everybody, it's Aaron Gordon.
I just want to say a big shout out and thank you from the bottom of my heart to our first responders, our doctors, nurses.
To all the people working frontline, working at grocery stores, hospital, pharmacy.
Thank you so much to all the first responders and all the healthcare employees that are dealing with COVID-19 right now.
Those people every day that are, risking their lives to help slow down this virus. You guys are the true superheroes during this time.
I want you guys to know that we appreciate all the work that you guys do.
My prayers are with you. I hope you stay healthy, stay bold, and stay courageous. Thank you.